Hi, everyone. I'll just give people a moment to join, so please just sit tight and we'll get started shortly. Awesome. I see some more people are now joining. Just give people another minute. Okay, so as always, these sessions, sorry, just give me 1 second. Yes, so as always, these sessions are recorded. So if you have to leave or you want to watch this again, it will be available either later today or tomorrow on StayFi's YouTube channel. And you can watch all of our StayFi Mastery sessions on the YouTube channel. So if you want to learn about email marketing, text marketing, our new product Stay Finder, free stay, messaging, all of those things are available on our YouTube channel. So tons of great content for you to digest. And then we also do some with customers and case studies as well. So you can, there are some great sessions on there as well with actual customers explaining how they got to 30, 40, 50+% direct bookings. Today is going to be all about upselling, and we're doing it in partnership with one of our upsell partners, which is Viator. So if you haven't used or haven't taken advantage of our integration with Viator, today is going to be how to get the most out of this opportunity to generate revenue from your guests by helping recommend tours and activities to them in your area. And Viator is running a very cool promotion for StayFi, where for a limited time, which I'll share the details with, in addition to you getting your 8% commission from Viator sales, guests will actually get a 5% off discount on all tours and activities booked through Viator by coming through you. So I'll show you how that works, but there'll be an extra discount for your customers to make bookings through Viator. And as always, if you have questions during the session, please use the Q&A section of Zoom. And I have the window open, so if the questions are relevant to what I'm talking about, I'll cover it then. And if not, I will get to them at the end of the presentation, as we should have plenty of time. So quick agenda for today, we'll go over upselling in StayFi, kind of our main tool to engage guests with Upsells, which is our homepage. And then we'll go into all the details of Viator and how to make the most of the Viator program integrated with StayFi. And then the cool thing about Viator is that it can also be integrated with a ton of other kind of opportunities with guests so that you can recommend amazing tours and activities in your area and make revenue when your guests purchase those different experiences. So if you're doing upsells already, definitely upsells have been kind of a trending topic in the short-term rental world lately, especially with Airbnb launching their own services portal, which unfortunately, when you recommend those or guest book those, you don't make any revenue. So we definitely want to be referring guests to channels where the same tour and activity is probably available on Airbnb and Viator. But with Viator, you can make a commission from recommending those sales. And then, of course, we also have another partner, the Hostco, which we've done other sessions on. And I'll touch upon it briefly, but essentially the Hostco has their own partner network, but then also allows you to sell your own kind of offerings, whether that's services like early check-in, late checkout, mid-stay cleans, firewood goods, all those kind of stuff. So the Hostco is an awesome tool if you're not using it already. But today we'll be more focused on Viator. And we've done some sessions with the Hostco in the past, so you can definitely go and watch those too if you want to learn more. So just to give a little reminder, when the guest checks into the Wi-Fi, we bring them to this page in StayFi called the homepage. And this allows you to basically provide an area to display all of the essential links a guest would need during their stay. And this is one of the main ways that our customers drive folks to make a purchase with Viator or the Hostco. And what's great about this homepage is that it can be used many, many different places. So this homepage in StayFi, and I'll show you this when I actually dive into the StayFi product, you can always get the links to your homepage and provide them to guests before the stay. We can automate sending these links in an email, in text messages, all of that good stuff, so that when guests are in the property, not only are you communicating with not just the booker, everybody there, but you're providing them all the essential information they need during their stay, which of course can include your recommended upsells that you are offering. So just a little more on how the Viator storefront works in the homepage. When you turn Viator on, which I'll show you in a little bit, you will automatically get this new button in your homepage called Local Attractions. You set up these things called widgets in Viator, which is basically what you see here on the right. So you can display either the top selling tours and activities right now in your area, or you can pick the tours and activities in your area. It's really up to you. And then these will get embedded into the homepage when the guest clicks on local attractions, and then they can see all the different items that you are recommending when they are going through the homepage. And then the way that it works, if they click on any of these links and then they make any purchase within Viator within 30 days, you'll get that 8% commission. And the very cool thing is we will automatically on your home pages, we're going to add this extra save for 5% button during the promotion period. And you do need to have signed up with Viator by tomorrow for this to be done. So if you want to include this uh, code, basically make sure you sign up for Viator before tomorrow, which I'll show you how to do as well. And basically, your guests will automatically get 5% off all the local attractions in here, which is pretty awesome. So, why should you be considering adding something like Viator? Well, number one, obviously, I talk about the revenue, but number two, providing great upsell recommendations is also going to increase guest satisfaction, which is also key. And Shelly, I will cover that question, so don't worry. So, this is data that Viator provide us. So, like most people, their most memorable trip activities are from activities. It's where people are spending their money. So, top three ways they're spending money during this stay. And so basically, by recommending your favorite tours and activities, not only can you make revenue, you also will increase guest satisfaction, so you'll get better reviews, and then guests are also more likely to return, which is also super important, obviously. So what kinds of things are available on Viator? They have a ton of different, they are the largest tour and activity marketplace. If you're not familiar with them, they're owned by TripAdvisor. So they have everything from tours, they have transportation, so even like car services, they have whole day trips can be quite expensive. Helicopter tours, walking tours, water sports, basically what's ever relevant in your destination, they should have something. And basically everywhere that we've looked, they've usually had something that they can offer, that you can offer for guests. So now I'll jump into StayFi and kind of show you first where to find all these things. So number one thing you want to do is turn on the Viator integration. So the first step is when you go to guest experiences or guest experience in StayFi, you're going to go to edit your homepage template. And then down below, there is this section here, and Viator is one of the two options. So first thing you want to do is just toggle this on and then hit update. When you toggle this on and hit update, we will automatically trigger you an email to then create or complete creating your Viator affiliate account. So that will send an email and then you'll go through the process of that email. 99% of the time, you will be instantly approved. If for some reason you get flagged by Viator, you can just email support@stayfi.com and we can expedite your approval process. But almost every time you're going to get approved. Also, just to note, when you hit update here, we're going to send the email to whatever account you're logged in as. So make sure you're logging in with an email that you have access to so that when you get the login information to create your account, that we're sending the email to the right place. Once you are in Once you've done that, basically what will happen is all of your splash pages, you now will have a new button at the end called Viator Attractions. So now we need to go and actually create what is pasted in here, which is the widget. So this is actually going to determine what tours and activities are going to be displayed for that property. And again, if you operate in different locations, you can create different Viator widgets and paste them in at different properties. So you don't have to offer the same recommendations in each place. Once you're into Viator, this is what their affiliate program looks like. So once your account is created, you'll be in here, and then you'll go to affiliate tools. So in here, you have all the different ways that you can share Viator. So they have other ways outside of StayFi. So I'll show you the StayFi way, which is you go to widget and then you create a widget. This is where you can say like, this is for my log cabin homes. And then you can search like by destination. You can search by categories, tourist and activity names specifically. I just do the simple destination search. So I'm going to do Nashville. Then then you're going to make sure it's grid. And I would recommend showing more experiences like 12 or even more than that. You can basically fit as many as you want into that StayFi page. Now, I personally um, prefer the whatever they recommend because if you go in and like pick your tours and activities, which you can also totally do to manually curate the experience, sometimes these tours and activities are sold out. Sometimes they go out of business and not available anymore. By doing the destination search, basically Viator will just populate it with the most popular mixture of tours in your area. And that is like the easiest way to do it. But of course, you can go and display more. And so then you can have 16, however many you want. You can see all of these here. Then you're going to save and generate the code. And basically you see here, we already have this little code here. This is what I'm going to take. I'm going to paste it into my Viator section here on the right. Then when I go and preview this homepage and I go down to local attractions, it's going to show all of immediately to all these national tours. And while this 5% promo is operating, we will add that here. But then what's cool is when I click on one of these links and I go to Viator, basically it's not just like I only get credit if they book this. If they go and end up booking something else, you'll get credit. And if they're on the same device, your cookie lasts for 30 days. So if they come back tomorrow and go to Viator.com, you should still get credit for that 8%. So sending traffic to Viator is great because if they come back and make another booking, that's fantastic. And then obviously once they get here, they may go and search and you'll still get credit if they go and find something totally different that's not one of the ones you recommended, right? So we kind of just want to send them to Viator, and then hopefully they end up booking something that works for them. And then for the question we got, Shelly, if you just go to Viator.com and you search in your area, you'll go see if they have inventory there, but they have inventory pretty much anywhere you would want to look. So that is how we make sure we set up Viator for your homepage, which is like kind of step number one here. So now I'll talk about some additional kind of best practices, because once you've set up a Viator account and included the widget on your homepage, that's like a good starting point. But there's so many more ways to optimize this program and get more out of it. And so number one I'll talk about is adding top sellers to your homepage directly. So let's say there's something that everybody does in your destination. So let's say like everybody goes to the Country Music Hall of Fame. I feel like that's a pretty good example. Because that's like a bestseller in Nashville. What I can do is in my first thing I want to do is in StayFi, I want to create a custom button. So I'm basically going to create a button on my homepage to basically book the Nashville or Country Music Hall of Fame, and it'll be like get tickets, etc. Okay. So once I've added that custom button, then you'll see when I go to bulk edit my home pages, there's now a new button here at the end, which is Country Music Hall of Fame. So what I want to do is then go back into my Viator affiliate program. And you see here they have another section called links. So basically I just go and find the item I want. I paste, I copy that link, I go in here, I copy and paste the link into here. And then down below, I'll have this new link here. This will be my affiliate link for this item. So then I can go back into my homepage and then paste that link here. And that means now when I go to my homepage, I'll have a new button for Country Music Hall of Fame. And if I click this, it will open directly to my affiliate link for this attraction. And so obviously by having the top most popular things like right there on the homepage, your chance that somebody clicks through and does that is much higher than discovering it by first going to your widget and then clicking on it, right? So if you do have those standout items in your area, definitely consider that adding them directly to the homepage, and that will increase the conversion rate for that specific button. And then obviously the other key thing is if you want to kind of pick or choose items in your Viator widget, that's also totally possible. So I'll show you how to do that very quickly here. Is under widgets, you can basically use the tour activity name, and then you can add products one by one. So you can add, and we do the Country Music Hall of Fame. Obviously, this is a more time-consuming process, and like I mentioned before, it does have the issue that like if these go away or sell out or invite to anymore, they will disappear. If you are very particular, you can add these manually one by one, and that's also an option. So the next thing is understanding like when guests book items during their stay. Obviously, with the homepage, often when guests log into the Wi-Fi, we are presenting them at the time they arrive in the property. But most people are making their bookings like 1 to 7 days before the activity. So there are options in StayFi to basically send these links in advance, and there's tons of different ways that you can do this. One of them is you can use the pre-arrival messaging tool in StayFi. Essentially, we will trigger a message through your property management software where we will send the link to the homepage. And there's different ways to do this. One is you can basically have us send this automatically through your PMS here. It's host away X days before the arrival. But if you click this other one, which will say set up in Hostway or set up in Guesty or set up in OwnerRes, whatever your PMS is, basically you can also integrate the homepage URL into your pre-arrival messaging in your PMS. So you can see here in Hostway, for instance, like your homepage URL for each property is listed as like a dynamic field. So you can integrate this homepage URL, which is dynamic, into multiple pre-arrival messages through your PMS. So that's a very good way to make sure that you're sending to your booker several times, hey, for our favorite tours and activities, you can find that information here, and then that will send them to the homepage. And then, of course, under guest guest experience, you can also just find the link to each homepage here. So you can also use this link and integrate that into your pre-arrival messaging. And then by doing that, you make sure guests are accessing your homepage and can see all those items to book prior to the stay. Here it is, the pre-arrival tool, so definitely consider sending the homepage in advance. The other options that you have, which I don't have in the presentation, but I'll explain here, is with this Viator program, right? I showed you placing the widget into StayFi, but you don't need to necessarily place it. You can use it obviously on the homepage, but this widget code, you can also place this on your website. So if you have a place on your website where you want to recommend tours and activities, you can also take this code and place it into your website there. And that way you can also basically take that same widget we have in the homepage, but add it to a page on your website, which would also be another way to feature these tours and activities in a way that will generate you revenue. And the other thing is if you have blog posts where you are writing about things to do in the area, then you can also use these links and then integrate that into blog posts and content. So you can basically use widgets and links, not just in StayFi, but you can use them in emails that you send guests, being like, oh, here are my 5 favorite things to do in Nashville, and then use 5 Viator links to link to all those things. You can place the widget on your website. You even have banners for your website, but that's, I think, is a little cheesy. But basically, I know we want you to feature Viator in the homepage in your pre-arrival messaging, but you can also, now that you have this Viator affiliate account, use links and widgets all other places in all different types of assets outside of StayFi as well. Then the other thing is most things on Viator can be booked last minute, and there are a ton of items that are also booked last minute during the stay. So the other thing we want to do is make sure that when guests arrive in the property and they get to the homepage for the first time, it's very easy to basically access the homepage during the entire stay. In StayFi, there's 2 main ways to do this. One is our Wi-Fi welcome text message. So when you set up our text marketing tool, the message we recommend you sending is this Wi-Fi welcome text. Our pre-filled text will recommend sending the link to the homepage, and that way all the guests will get the link to the homepage right on their phone in a text message after they log into the Wi-Fi. And very similarly, when you set up email marketing in StayFi and you set up this Wi-Fi welcome email, again, we will pre-fill that Wi-Fi welcome email with a link to the homepage. And that way guests can very easily get back to the homepage and then access all your recommended upsells during the course of the stay. Here again, we have it, the 5 recommended ways. One, send your homepage in advance via your PMS and via pre-arrival messaging. And you can see here, here's a great example of a real homepage from the customer. He has the house manual, he has what to do. This actually goes to his website where he's placed Viator affiliate links within the context of like a written article. He has the local attractions, which is the widget. He has the most popular tour as its own button here, which he created. So Nashville Hop On, Hop Off Tour, which then goes to Viator. Shopper Space is actually Minoan. So he had a Minoan storefront, which then he added a custom button for the link here, and then visit our website. So PMS, pre-arrival messaging, make sure you're sending the homepage to the booker in advance. And then email and text welcome message will make sure everyone, not just the booker, all guests are getting the links on their phone and the computer during the course of the stay. And then, of course, you can integrate Viator into your direct booking site. And then you can also set up QR codes in the listing with links to the homepage. And in StayFi, we also provide you QR codes for your homepage. So down here, we have the links to each homepage, and then we also have a QR code you can use for your homepages as well. Now I'll talk about some examples. So you can see all the different crazy things people are doing on their homepage. And some people use a lot of links. So you can see here, book again, visit our website. This is the Hostco store he has here, guidebook, local attractions. He has a place on his website for recommended restaurants, all trails maps. Through the Hostco, you can get an AI planner where you also make affiliate revenue, which is cool. Then he has a button for his own property management, and then like access to the home automation tool that he uses, and then early check-in request, late checkout request. Both of those he does through the Hostco. I guess I will just mention the Hostco while we're here. So in the homepage template, you can also turn on the Hostco. The Hostco, when you turn this one on, we will automatically create Hostco stores for all of your properties, and we will send you a link to log into your Hostco account. And that means, unlike the Viator one where you need to fill in the widgets links here, for the Hostco, we will automatically create all the Hostco stores for you. And if you get, just to give you an idea of what's in the Hostco store, this is where you can sell your own services, as well as they may have partners in your area. So like late checkout, early check-in, pet requests, extra guest, mid stay clean, those are obviously requests to you, which you can approve or deny. But then depending on where you are, there may be mobile IV, private chef, in-home massage, baby equipment rental, boat rentals, yacht charters, et cetera, et cetera. So there are often, depending on where you are, a bunch of partner items a Hostco will offer, which again, you will get commission from all of these. And then obviously the ones you provide are the most profitable because if you facilitate an early check-in, all that revenue goes to you. And all of these can be request based, can be automatic. They can have inventory associated with it. So if you're selling physical goods, you can set an inventory amount for like firewood, and then you'll know when to restock it. So Hostco is very customizable when you're doing your own goods and services, or even partners that you partner with, and you can create goods and services for them where they get notified with requests. All of that is possible in the Hostco. So it's a very flexible platform where you can really accomplish selling anything that you would like in here. And again, you can get a free account by signing up with StayFi for the Hostco. Mike Z is actually one of our most profitable users of the Hostco because he really pushes request early check-in, late checkout. He sends the homepage in advance multiple times through, I believe, Streamline. So somebody prior to this day is getting multiple links to the homepage through the messaging to the guest, to the booker. And then again, his other big thing is he has used the Hostco I mean, not the Hostco, he has used the homepage to advertise his real estate services. So see here on the bottom left, claim your $1,000 refund when you buy a home with us. So I know a lot of people are not just short-term rental managers. They may have started as often as traditional real estate folks. And so here you can also cross promote your real estate business to your guests as well. And then Stellar Dweller, they're one of our biggest Viator success cases. And that's because they integrate obviously the widget into their homepage. They send the homepage in advance, but they also are using the Viator affiliate program outside of the StayFi experience. So prior to the stay, they used the Viator links tool to basically curate a list of links that they want to send to guests, and they will send a pre-arrival message with, here are the 10 things to make sure you book when you visit us, I think in Florida. If I'm not correct, this looks very Florida. Yes, Destin, Florida, because these activities are so popular with guests that stay there. People want to rent boats, people want to rent these slides. And the thing about these is they're pretty high ticket items. So if someone's doing a pontoon charter for like $600, then you're getting, 8% of that transaction. So there are some very high ticket items in Viator where you can be making $100+ per sale. So that may be also one thing to consider when you are curating your list is making sure you're having a good range of price points from the, cheaper dolphin cruises, which are obviously like a group experience, to like more of the private charters and rentals, which are obviously going to be a lot more expensive. Sweet. So now I got that through that pretty quickly in 30 minutes. So we do have plenty of time for questions if you have anything. Um, Someone asked about when guests request an amenity or upsell and it depletes the inventory, is that only specific for their dates or does it reduce the inventory across calendars? I believe, Lori, that for the Hostco, there is a general inventory for items within inventory that you set up, but I'm not a Hostco expert. I try to know as much as I can. Obviously, if you're using the Hostco and you want to sell like specific items that have specific inventory requirements, definitely reach out to the Hostco support as they can help you with those issues. My general understanding is for things like firewood or like restockable items that you're selling, like amenity kits, that typically there's like one inventory. And then everything in also in the Hostco can be set up to be request based or automatic. So with early check-in, late checkout, mid-stay cleans, basically, you set the price and you set the amount of time in advance somebody can request it. And then if they request it, you get the notification and then you can approve or deny it. You can also set up who gets the notification and whether they can approve or deny it. So if you need to send to a cleaner or to a local property manager, you can also send it to those folks and they can approve or deny it too. So you can basically make sure the requests are getting routed to the correct person. Um, Someone asked again about how to add the widgets. Okay, so just to run through this again, you will sign up for Viator in StayFi, which you do under the homepage configuration tab. So edit homepage template, you will sign up for the Viator. Then we'll send you a link to create and log into your Viator affiliate account. Once you log into your Viator account, you will go to Tools, Affiliate Tools, and then here you can create your widgets. Once you've created your widget, you will get code. You take this code and then in the bulk editor for your home pages, you will paste the widget code under the Viator attractions section. and it can be different widgets for different properties. Then if you want to add like those specific tours, that's where you can create links and then link to specific items. But you access this through the bulk edit home pages here, and then you paste the widgets in per property, depending on obviously which widget you want to feature where. And you can manage all the widgets here and preview them and all that good stuff. Also in here in Viator, you can see performance and you can see, bookings, if they're working or not. Also, they can pay out to PayPal or to your bank. So they're very flexible in the payout methods that they have. So super, super easy to use and get paid out and get credit for your sales. Someone asked, can you add a link that is like 30 minutes or an hour away? Yeah, so obviously, like if people need to travel to go and access things, um, you can go into here, you can pull the links or a widget for the destination, and then in your homepage, you can create custom buttons and link anything you want. So if something is not local per se, but it's something that's popular near-ish to where your property is, you can always go to edit homepage template. You can always create a custom button. So it could be like I don't know, famous waterfall is like an hour, or that's probably not a ticketed tour, but anyways, is an hour away. You can still create a custom button, get tickets for this thing that's worth driving to. And then once you have updated this, if you go into your bulk editor, then you can take the link from Viator for that famous thing that's not right where you are, but close enough, and paste them in here. Well, I don't understand your question, Melody. I mean, obviously we don't control the Viator inventory. So if Viator doesn't have any inventory where you are, there's nothing we can do about that. So it's just the way it is. Obviously, if you have someone located near you that you do want to recommend, you can always create a custom button and then recommend that business here, right? So you can create a web page or a web page on your site about local things you recommend, and link to that here. And then obviously we don't have the Viator affiliate code associated with it and you can't make revenue from it, but you can still recommend whatever you want that's close to you if those things exist. But you can always encourage those businesses to list on Viator. But again, Viator is owned by TripAdvisor. So um, it is the largest marketplace in the world. So they're going to be the most likely one to have inventory everywhere. But obviously, some destinations, they still don't have anything. So, and if that is all of the questions, we can wrap up early. And again, I will say that right now is a great time to try Viator because all of your guests will get that extra 5% off promotion, like I mentioned before. So your buttons will look like this while this is live. So all of your guests, when they get to checkout, for the rest of 2025. So this will just run through the end of the year. They'll automatically get this code associated with that booking and they will get that 5% off. So now's a great time to try it just because your guests will get a discount that they're not going to get anywhere else, which is pretty cool. So your guests will save 5% when they go through your links. So it does give you that extra incentive to or give the guests extra incentives to book through you. And it'll be very clear automatically in your homepage when you set up the Viator widget. And then if you have any questions about Viator, if you have trouble making a Viator affiliate account, please just email support@stayfi.com and we can contact Viator on your behalf and help expedite that process if they do flag you or don't let you create an account for whatever reason. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody else for attending today, and I hope everyone has a lovely Thanksgiving. And then we will be back in 2 weeks. And if you didn't get a chance to attend one of our Stay Finder webinars, I definitely recommend you watch the recording we posted about Stay Finder, and check out Stay Finder in your StayFi account, as that's definitely the most exciting thing that we will be continuing to roll out next year. And I think you guys can get a lot of value out of it. So if you haven't checked out Stay Finder yet, I definitely recommend taking a look at that webinar we posted as well. So thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your week. And I will see everyone in 2 weeks.